All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Xposure Runs the podcast. Today's guest, jokingly but generously listed at 6'2". We have to pull out the thing that
got receipts.
You got receipts? Okay. All right. Leads Oaklawn in practically almost every statistical category, but chief among them is scoring. Recently captured the second back-to-back conference championship. Over the last 5 games, heading into the state playoffs, has averaged a little over 25 points. Career high of 38 points. I saw 36. I text Dad. Dad said, no, it's 38. Get it right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.2 steals, shooting over 37.5% from 3. And I've been to I think 3 or 4 games. I think I've been to 3 or 4 of your games, and I've like really watched how you have been blossomed on the court, from just kind of letting the game come to you to going out and just like taking the game. So like I definitely been watching a lot of your games, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. But before we get to that, let's welcome Donté Montgomery Jr. and his father, Donté Montgomery Sr. to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys being here. Before we got on the air, I definitely told Dante, like, he got to talk. Like, I need you to talk. I know y'all sometimes be, acting all like y'all don't really want to fuck with the adults, but like we got stuff we got to say too. All right. Sorry, we're gonna get to it. All right? All right, cool. All right, first thing, favorite subject in school and why?
Probably history. That's always been my favorite subject. But why? Probably just because it's between history and science, because I really like space and I like learning about like the past. So that's probably my 2 favorites. But I don't like all that like chemical stuff. Part of science, I don't like that. I just like space.
Finally, somebody that picked one of my favorite subjects. History is by far my favorite subject. Like, I'll spend hours on history, and even when I'm watching movies that's dubbed true stories, after I'm done watching them, I'll go down like at least a 2 to 4 day rabbit hole, just researching everything, just trying to see the accuracy of things that happened in our past. Chicago got a lot of history, So I'm glad that you said history. Who's your favorite teacher over at Oaklawn and why?
Miss O'Day, my English teacher. I love her. I ain't gonna lie. She like everything you can ask for a teacher. Like, she got energy. It's like a personal relationship where it's like, and she's real close to my mom now. So like it all kind of goes together,
hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite non-teacher, like staff member in the building?
Probably one of the green deans.
Okay.
Probably Miss K. Cause
Miss who?
Miss K.
Okay,
or Miss First. They like green deans, so you won't really see them outside. But like during lunch, I'll just go over there and just stand with them and talk for like the whole lunch period.
One of y'all deans over there, I can't stand.
You probably talking about Miss Verde. I don't like her.
No, I don't know. Who? Man, your dad might know the answer to this, because who's the dean that does the checks of the eligibility for when kids transfer over?
You talking about Mr. Crying?
No, that's a woman.
Is she a dean or is she
Miss Hernandez?
I'm gonna find out her name, and I'm gonna let y'all know. Remember, I don't know if you remember, we had the conversation last year where she was the one who tried to keep Zay from being eligible to come.
She's a dean?
Yeah, that's what they said she was. I don't know if she's white or Hispanic. I don't know. But I was told that she's married to, I don't know if he still is, or a police officer.
Yeah. I think she works in like the township or something like that also.
Okay.
But I think she does work in the schools. I know you're talking about her, but
yeah, she was the one. I don't like her. And I only met her once in passing, but I talked to her a few times, and she tried to keep Zay from coming over there. And we had to flex our school muscle a little bit.
Well, we love everyone at Oakland right now.
Right now.
We love everyone.
This is the views and things that I'm saying is solely Mustafa. It has nothing to do with the Montgomery family.
Oh yeah.
All right,
we love everybody.
Everybody. They love everybody. All right. Who's your favorite teammate on the team and why?
I don't really know if I got a favorite, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Jack. Just because we go way back from like second grade.
Right. I think I remember you telling me that. Okay, yeah, I like Jack.
They played together in middle school too.
I remember you told me that. What's your favorite meal?
Either tacos or probably tacos now.
Can you cook?
Nah.
Who's the best cook between your mom and dad?
Come on, man. Don't put me on the spot like that, man.
I want to know who it is.
Can you cook, Pop?
Of course.
Okay.
Chef Boyardee.
Okay. Who the best cook?
They eat.
Nah. We're not doing nothing. We're not doing nothing political up here. Who's the best cook? Okay, I tell you what. Pick your dad's favorite meal that you like. Pick your mom's favorite meal that you like.
Oh no, man. I say this. I'll put it like this. I like his breakfast better, but I like her dinner better.
That's fair. Which is ironic because I was going to ask you, what's your favorite meal of the day? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Breakfast for sure.
What's your dad's breakfast special? Like what that he makes?
He usually do like it'd be basic, but it'd be good. Like rice, eggs, biscuit, like
rice
bacon.
For breakfast.
Yeah.
Really?
Or grits. He don't really eat grits.
I don't like
the
either.
grits, so sometimes I make him rice.
Like just plain white rice?
Yeah. With like egg, sausage.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like a scrambler. Instead of like using potatoes, like for a skillet, use rice.
Interesting. I've never done that. I'm a huge fan. I love rice, by the way.
Me too.
Mainly for lunch and dinner. Potatoes, of course, for breakfast. I can't recall ever having rice for breakfast. That sounds interesting, though. But I love white rice. Celeste and Xavier and even Ziggy, they love like yellow rice, brown rice. I like all rices, but if you had to, Mustafa pick one, I prefer white. It's just plain.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want to it. Sauce, butter, a little salt, pepper. Yeah. All right, cool. What's your favorite pregame meal?
I don't know, but with Oklahoma, we usually we have like little snacks when we watch film. So I'll probably just say that we usually do like Uncrustable with like a granola bar and some like Ritz crackers. So I'll probably just say that.
And that's usually CA and Coach Rose usually bring that. Yeah, shout out to them. One of the I'm not gonna lie, and we'll get into the whole Marist thing, but one of the reasons why I transferred Zay over to Marist, other than the other stuff that was going on, is I used to watch their stories that was going on. Every time CA would post something, whether they was in the weight room or he was like giving them little
on Instagram.
On Instagram, I would watch their stories on Instagram, and I used to just really be like impressed with just those little small details of like trying to build their program. And I'm like,
they're usually pretty active.
Right. And I'm like, man, I really want Zay to be a part of that. Now, I know for a fact Trendle wasn't doing that shit, but when Hines came over and whoever he had on staff at the time, I didn't see, they wasn't posting much on social media, so I can't accurately say if they were or weren't doing that. I just know what I was seeing from them, and I just always like, man, I wanted Zay to.
Matter of fact, shout out to you, because you're the reason why we at Oklahoma.
Really?
You remember that?
I don't
remember that conversation?
I remember we've had so many conversations, and I don't remember exactly, but I am going to ask about the whole Marist thing, and then we can segue into that. Excuse me. Game of 1-on-1. Who's winning between you and your pop?
Me.
Now, I heard your pop used to be a bucket. Now, I did a little research other than, I don't know what school he went to, which I'm going to ask, but I heard your pop used to be a bucket, bro.
He used to be nice. I ain't going to front.
Okay.
He can't beat me.
Probably not now. Well, it depends.
Okay.
Here we go.
Because if we doing like unlimited dribbles, and I can just, of course, I'm going to just bag them down.
Right. Grown man.
Yeah, that's 12-0.
But if you got to play.
If I got to play, he'll beat me. Or like we do 2 dribbles or something like that, then he'll beat me.
That's how I feel about Xavier. Yeah. So the one thing that y'all don't realize, and I love the confidence in you and Xavier and y'all peers, is that it's a different type of man strength versus a young man strength. And like your dad said, backing y'all down, like what you gonna do with your dad backing you down and to the post every play?
He's gonna miss one of those layups, and I'm gonna score every single time.
No, he's not. Because I'm just foul. I groomed his game.
Right.
I know exactly what to do to play against him.
Exactly. That's how I feel about Xavier.
Yeah.
And I won't play him no more. The last time we played, now when we play, and the last time we played, I purposely play in like non-basketball apparel, so I could be like, man, I ain't even have on the right sneakers.
All the shit he do against another 16 and 17-year-old, he ain't gonna do that shit against me. I got too much up here.
Right.
Too much.
Too much. When's the last time y'all played each other?
Oh, it's been a while. Probably
since we first.
Yeah, I don't even think he's in high school.
Okay. Off the court, when you wind it down, trying to chill, what does Dante like to do?
Play the game. That's my go-to.
Okay. What's your favorite game?
Right now it's 2K, but I don't got the new Madden. If I had the new Madden, it'd probably be that. But right now, it's 2K for sure.
What system?
PS5.
I just bought Ziggy a PS5. We're an Xbox family, and he wanted a PS5, and I reluctantly got him one.
Yeah, I do Xbox.
I got an Xbox. I don't even play mine no more. I used to be the guy. Me and Xavier's godfather. Shout out to Kenny Orange back in Philly. We used to camp out at the GameStop for Madden, like overnight.
Madden was.
He used to be a Madden guy too.
Yeah,
I was ranked in Madden. Like before I stopped playing.
Seriously,
I was like, yeah.
He said he was ranked 200 in the world or something.
No, I was like 11.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I can't get into Madden no more. Number one, first of all, I've never been an online person. That online shit, like I think they be cheating off that shit. So I don't really mess with it. Like I can't do the online thing. But like with Madden, the game itself, and even with 2K, it's too much going on in the game now. Like, let's just play. Like y'all want to do the court, and now Madden got the storyline, and then you got the player cards, and it's like I be confused off that shit. I'll do Call of Duty and Hitman is my go-to games.
Yeah, I play Duty.
I don't do online though.
Oh, you don't?
No, I can't get
you just
on.
do like the story
I just
mode?
do the story mode.
Oh, okay.
Campaign or whatever it's called. Yeah, I can't do that. First of all, because you be playing with Navy SEALs and all that shit. I'm not with all that. No,
Yeah,
I'm good
I haven't
on
did
that.
the campaign in a while, but that's the only game I play now is Call of Duty. But I was the Madden god
Really?
and 2K.
And see, I don't play Zay and Madden no more neither because they be cheating. Zay use his linebacker and be sticking every fucking body on the field, and then magically I'm throwing interceptions, shit that don't know. And I'm better than. Like, you just talked about playing him in basketball, like, just mentally. I know I'm mentally better than him in football. Like, I play Madden like I used to play football. Like, I know football.
You just don't know the mechanics of the game.
Man, that shit is whack, man. I don't play that shit. My joint collecting dust. It's sitting right there in the living room collecting dust. It's white, but like a gray tint to it from the dust. I don't mess with it. You transferred from Marist to Oaklawn last year, so going into your sophomore year, because you're currently a junior.
Yeah.
All right. What went into that decision?
It was mainly just when we got there, I went to go watch a few of them practices, and it was just like more of a free offense. When I was at Marist, like it's like more you have to do this to, you know what I mean, like go score. But within the Oaklawn system, I feel like it's just more free. Like we getting up and down, like that's really all we do. We just play in transition. That's how our game is based, just transition offense. Marist is more like slow it down, run this, run that, and
even when y'all in fast break, like just slow it down, let's run the play.
I don't really think that complements my game.
Okay. Talk about your experience at Marist. What didn't go right for you that led to you deciding to transfer? Was it just the aspects of the way that they played versus the way that Oaklawn played?
Outside of basketball, I actually really liked Marist. I'm not gonna lie, it was really fun. I had a lot of friends there that I still talk to today. But it was just this one meeting that we had towards the end of the season that threw everything off. And then the summer league, when I didn't start, that was kind of like that was over after that.
Okay. Pop, let's talk about, we talked a little early, we segued into, I do remember the conversation. I don't remember the context because I remember you called me like, what's going on over there, over at Oaklawn?
Yeah,
right?
for the most part, I asked you why.
Right.
Like why you were going over there, because that was one of the original places he was supposed to go coming out of.
Right, because that was your area.
Right. So he was actually supposed to come there, met the coaches, met the staff, built a relationship up with the players there and all of that. And it was more of his mom, him and his mom's decision to, send him Catholic, you know. And from that point, actually from 6th grade, Bobby Frazier was recruiting him
to Brother Rice. Right.
So from 6th grade on to probably the summer of 8th grade year, he was planning on going to Brother Rice.
That's funny. That's funny.
What?
Because go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
So he was supposed to go to Brother Rice, and somewhere in between there, he decided he wanted to go to Marist. We talked about it, huh?
It was Bryce. I wanted to play with Bryce.
Bryce Hayes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
shout out to that. It's Bryce and his family.
Yeah. So
I wonder if his mom. Does his mom still work at Marist?
I think so.
I think she. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
So it was somewhere in between there. I guess him and Bryce decided they wanted to go to Marist. So we did our background check on him and everything, and let him do the tours and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoyed it. We liked it. We liked, especially, I think like the planetarium room or something. Like
Yep.
We really liked
that. That was real dope.
That kind of sold us.
Who was the coach there at the time? Was it Hines or was it still Trindle?
It was Hines.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, it was Hines. That was his first year coming.
Okay,
in, so
okay.
He was like really on Dante.
Right.
So, and I liked how he approached trying to recruit him. You know, he was texting me like weekly, like,
I like Hines.
Can I get him? Can I get him?
I like Hines.
Came
So
to the house, went out to dinner.
Went out to dinner. He took you out of Outback.
no, we went to Dickus.
Oh.
Somewhere downtown.
No, it was in Oak Brook. Dickus. We went to Dickus.
Oh, I'm gonna call you on that, Hines. I got some words for you. Go ahead.
We went to Dickus. So we went to Dickus with one of the players. He was his ex-players. Yeah, Alexis Williams.
Yeah, his assistant coach.
Yep. Well, he never turned into his assistant coach because he got the job at Ball State or something.
Right.
Like that.
He was there for the summer league.
Boise State.
Boise State, which is where he went.
Right.
Right. So go ahead.
So that's pretty much how he got the Marist.
So coming into Zay's junior year, like literally right after his sophomore year. First of all, freshman year and sophomore year, school-wise, let me separate the experiences. School, education-wise, I give it to Marist. I give it to them. They got a great education going on over there. I mean, you can speak to that. They got a great education going on over there. The teachers, whatever, the experience, the planetarium, they just give them a lot of experiences from an educational standpoint. I felt like from an athletic standpoint, at the time, everything was being pushed into the football. Like basketball wasn't really getting a lot of attention. And I felt one of the reasons why we went to Marist, right, is I felt like at the time I wanted to, so coming out of Colin Powell, Xavier, Diggy, Lear, and Rayshawn, I wanted them all to go to school together. I felt like high school together. I felt like they would have had the South Suburbs on Smash, like Dante and Christian and Marquise and Keyshawn had Bloom. I wanted to recreate that excitement of the South Suburbs. And so when Eric decided to do what he was going to do with Diggy as far as going to Hillcrest, Rayshawn initially went to Hyde Park for his freshman year. When we decided on Marist, CC and Big Lear, we all sat down together like, let's do this with them over at Marist. At the time, Trindle was there, and one of the main reasons why we went was they had a black coach over there named Gary Williams, who was the assistant coach, and he like really kind of molded that relationship. Like it was always something about Trindle that just didn't sit right with me. I don't know if it was his lack of people skills. He was like really quirky. But the black coach really was what drew us in. Like, all right, fuck it, let's try it. Whatever.
Yeah, see, I never met Trindle before. But I got friends that used to play for him.
I didn't like him, and I didn't like the way they played. I felt like even all of their returning players that they had, a shout out to Jabari, I forget this other young kid name, because one of their best players ended up transferring out and went back to HF his senior year.
From Marist?
From Marist. And I personally, I didn't like Trindle. If you ask me why, I really couldn't pinpoint. Like, normally if you ask somebody, like, why you don't like somebody, you can say, like, well, they ugly, or they this, or they that. Trindle he just had my spider senses just going all the time. Just something about him I just didn't like.
Wait, so was Trindle, when was Trindle there?
He was there before we got there. So Zay went to high school in 18 or 19, I believe. 18.
Like how many years before?
Before Zay came, a couple years. About
Just
4 or 5. Yeah, about less than 5, maybe 6, because he came from Providence, I believe, which is where I think he went back to.
Right.
Because when he got fired from Marist, he went to be an assistant coach at St. Patrick's. And then I think he's back at Providence now. Don't quote me on that. But he was there for a few years before we got there.
Yeah, my buddies that used to play for Marist back in the day, I don't think they played for him. I think it was another coach.
Oh, Nolan. Yeah, they played for Nolan. Gene Nolan, who's now the coach of
somewhere out west or west.
Yeah. Because they played him now because they retired his jerseys these last year there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we were leaving. So we were going to leave after his sophomore year. We did what you said you was going to do. I mean, what y'all did. Y'all sat down and had a conversation, blah, 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 blah. And Zay wanted to stay. He wanted to stay. He had all his friends there, big fella and his homies over there, and then his little lady friend. And so after sophomore year, I kind of left the choice up to him. Like, all right, you want to stay? And then that ended up being COVID year, which it was like, shit, we should have left. Going into junior year, I'm like, nah, fuck that. We out. Ain't no way. That's when Hines came in. Word had got, but we was in Fort Wayne at a tournament with the Wolves. And Hines got the job, and then Lexus initially got the assistant coaching job, and he reached out to me on Twitter, and they must have had heard. We didn't say nothing, but they must have knew because we wasn't doing nothing with them. And so Lexus reached out like, "Yo, Hines want to talk to you." I said, "All right, cool. Like I'll at least hear him out. We leaving, but I'll at least owe him that." So he called me, and we spoke for about 3 hours. I'm in Fort Wayne, and we on the phone. And I just liked everything he had to say. I just felt comfortable. So, long story short, we decided to stay for his junior year. And with all due respect to Hines, we should have left.
You regret it?
I don't want to use the word regret because I really like Hines. He really took care of Xavier. He really took care of our friend. He really looked out. And I like him from a basketball sense. And what you were saying about Oak Lawn, whether we went to Oak Lawn or not, I just felt like I missed that opportunity for Zay's junior year. We lost a lot.
Yeah, to me, the junior year is the most.
It's the most important year. They had a few coaches in to see Zay early on over the summer, and nothing really kind of followed up with that from the coaching. No opportunity for me to be able to follow up came on my end. I just really wish we would have just followed my gut. But again, I let Zay stay, and I have no knock on Hines. I just felt like the way that they played just wasn't Xavier's game, and we would have went to Oak Lawn the year that they still had all the players that they had. I think adding Zay to that mix, they could have made a lot of noise because he had a pretty successful team.
Yeah, because that was the first year he had that really good team.
He had a really good team. The big fella, them shooters, Davion. He had a bunch of shooters. Yeah. And then here's the crazy thing. I met with Rhodes after Zay's sophomore year. Mm-hmm. And he told me something that I always kind of found funny is like, he said, this is the years that Trindle was coaching. He said whenever they scouted Marist, Zay was a freshman. He said whenever they scouted Marist, it was nobody on their team that they really needed to scout. And then the 1 year Zay got moved up, they only scouted Zay just a little bit because they didn't really know who he was, but they knew he could play. They knew he was a freshman. Blah blah blah.
So he played Oakland his sophomore year, junior year.
He played. No, we didn't go to senior year.
No, played against them.
Yes, he did. He played against them a little bit of their sophomore year. He played a little bit their freshman year at Marist when Zay got moved up after January, and then I think he played a little bit in that game. He had an assistant coach on their team that I used to work with at another school. And then Zay played a little bit his sophomore year, and then COVID hit. And then he played a little bit his junior year. Actually, no, he played a lot. And I think they played Oak Lawn in something, in a tournament or in a playoff game or something. But from freshman and sophomore year, Rose was like, yeah, Zay was the only one that was worth scouting on that team. And we didn't really need to make hardly any adjustments against Trindle. I mean, he didn't say this, but reading between the lines, he was like, yeah, I mean, Trindle wasn't worth scouting. He didn't know what he was doing, so.
Yeah, he had a good freshman year at Marist, but I feel like it was kind of a wasted freshman year at Marist, to be honest with you.
I know we said, I said I don't really want to use the word regret, but do you regret going to Marist and not immediately going to Oak Lawn? Or any other school for that matter?
Well, he probably wouldn't have went to Oak Lawn. He probably went to Brother Rice.
Right. So my Brother Rice story. So in between our freshman year, we was about to sign. We went and did last minute. The coaches reached out, Frazier and another guy reached out and asked us to come do a visit. And I said, cool, let's go do the visit. Matter of fact, it was so crazy that Marist got wind of this and like called them and like kind of cussed them out. Like, why would y'all do that? He's going to come here, blah, blah, blah. So we went to do the visit. And I enjoyed the visit. Like, I was ready to like switch. Like, nah, let's do this. Mm-hmm. And so we sat down and I made Zay make a pros and cons list. And then me and Celeste made a pros and cons list. And I think just one or two things Marist won out on. But we almost went to Brother Rice too. I just liked everything they was doing. I liked their little TV station thing.
Man, that sold me when I went in there. And that's all that.
And then for us to be able to send the stuff back home to people, like, yo, y'all can watch his games. I really wanted that experience for Xavier, and I felt like maybe things would have been different had we went there for freshman year. I mean, I don't know. And then I'll be honest with you too. Brother Rice at the time, they wasn't trying to give up no bread for us. So I'm like, yeah, no, this ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah, we would have had to pay a little bit. I think it was like maybe like 2,000, 1,500.
Yeah, they was. It wasn't enough for me, and so I'm like, yeah, I can't afford it. I mean that was the truth, but at the same time, it's like, no. And we just decided to go to Marist. I do wish that I would have made a different decision. I even sometimes wish we would have sent Zay to a city school. Like I kind of wrestle with that a lot. Had a chance to send him to Simeon. Had a chance to send him to Kenwood. Maybe even I didn't send him. We chose Oak Lawn, which was our first choice. I was going to send him to Hillcrest, and after I evaluated their team with Diggy, Talu, and Hetty, and all of them, I really just felt like, honestly, we didn't go there because I felt like Zay would have had a hard time fitting in with their culture. With Hillcrest, they got Hillcrest and HF, to me, are like two of the townships. The people, they do too much for me, and so I just felt like it would have caused a lot of conflict among the parents. They would have came in and took somebody's spot. Like, there's no question about that, and I just didn't want him to have to deal with that. I felt like it would have been an easier transition, which it ended up being, to go over to Oak Lawn and just kind of step in right away.
Yeah, so we never considered any city schools, and none of them really reached out when we was coming out of junior high.
Got you.
They all want them now.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So yeah, you told me about the final decision went into going to Marist. When you and I talked, our conversation, what was it that I said that kind of like convinced you that this was the right move for Dante?
It was more so what you said to get him out of Marist. So, and that was like the right now decision, like to Oakline, because he grew up in the area, from the area, and went to Oakline Middle School. So it was like, if he's leaving somewhere, the best decision right now is Oakline. So, or Brother Rice, but Bobby had left. We didn't know the new coaches there, so that was the option.
Like by default, it just ended up being
Bobby
there.
had got up out of there, so they had got the new coach that they have in now, and which I'm also hearing that because I know a few of the players' parents that go to Brother Rice, and they like the new coach a lot better. Shockingly, yeah, I was shocked when I heard it.
Wow, I mean, shout out to Bobby because he did a great job over there, and
I mean, he set the he was the Mark Jackson.
Yeah. How about that?
He was the Mark Jackson.
How about that? And there's tons of rumors on why he ended up not being there no more, but whatever with that. Something that you just said. Well, first off, I want to let Coach Rhodes know that it is because of me, champ, that you got Dante. So
it is.
Yeah, I'm just you heard it from the dad. Like he didn't know that though. Coach Rhodes, he didn't.
I don't think nobody knew.
I don't think nobody knew that. I don't think a lot of people know. A lot of parents reach out to me behind the scenes about certain things and
Bryce is there. Eric Hayes is the only one that knew, because I talked to him.
I talked to him quite frequently too when he had his situation with Bryce. Yeah, I want to say I'm the reason why they left from over there.
Possibly.
Yeah, and just for the record, I didn't say nothing bad about Marist. I just gave my experience with what happened, and then people just make their own decisions. I mean, one of the last things about Marist, and then I'll jump off this train, is that in between a lot of stuff that was going on with us, a lot of people who I didn't even know knew who I was, like reached out to me and was like, yo, you got to get your son out of there. And they used a lot of the example of what happened with Maurice Commander. That happened over there, the guard that, wanted to transfer out, and they held up his transfer, which when we transferred to Oak Lawn, they tried a little bit of the little bullshit with it was between the transfer and the eligibility of transfer, and then the school having a little whatever. But here's the real reason that a lot of people don't know. The real reason why we transferred from Marist is because they told him that they didn't want him back.
Xavier?
They told us
you gotta be kidding.
No. So this is what happened.
That's crazy.
Going into after his junior year,
he probably would have been the best player in their conference.
By far. And just to be clear, it wasn't Hines that said this.
Oh.
It was the president who then became the new. I'm sorry, he was the principal and then became the president. Tucker. The guy,
Tucker?
yeah, the guy that used to play for them.
Oh, okay.
They brought in a new principal, the woman.
Yeah, I like that.
And if you remember coming out of COVID, they told them that they was wearing the mask and all this, that, the other, and the third. Going into his senior year, they told Xavier that unless he cut his beard, he wasn't allowed to come back. Going into Zay's freshman year, when they, recruited us to come and just that, I specifically spoke to Larry Tucker and explained that it's a Catholic school, like we're Muslim. So at some point, Xavier didn't have no facial hair, but at some point his facial hair will begin growing in, and it's a part of our culture. I just want to let you know that ahead of time. No, it won't be no problem. We'll discuss it when that happens. And I let him know, like, hey, I'll make sure that his facial hair is, flush against his face. It won't get out of hand. Just that on the third. We'll keep it groomed. I just want to let y'all know that it's not a problem. Going into a senior year, the lady principal, which I forget her name, sent us a letter. Like, he can't come back unless he shave his face.
Wow.
And so I reached out to Hines, like, yo, she sent us this letter. I got a official letter from R.E. Mann on, letterhead, got it notarized, gave it to them. Like, no, he can't come back. Cool. That's all I needed to hear. I didn't want to go back to that motherfucker anyway, but that's all I needed to hear. Hines was pissed.
That's crazy.
But I also feel like, if I'm being fair, and this is might be the only negative thing I'll say, and I won't say about Hines, but about that situation, I wish he would have fought harder.
For Xavier?
For Xavier.
Yeah, because he got a strong voice at Marist.
Very strong. I just wish he would have fought harder. I don't want to say I don't think he wanted Zay back, because, again, we have a great relationship. I see Hines to this day. It's nothing but love. He shows love for the platform, but I do wish he would have, like, put his foot down, like, no, like, fuck that. But I don't feel like that was done.
Well, I don't have bad, like a lot of bad things to say about him, but he did go against a few of the things he said coming into Dante coming in there, and that's what helped us,
make the decision,
get out of there. Yeah.
Did you guys have any pushback from them when y'all transferred?
No.
That you know of? Because we got some, and then I heard some things that kind of got out to different schools, that they was playing a lot of games. The school district wasn't prepared for the knowledge that we have of school districts. We work at schools. We know the lingo. They initially denied Xavier. At the time, we had moved over there. We were coming in under the McKinley Veto Act, which is against the law to deny a student residency, as well as against the law to have them in the school. If you live in that area, we was we was living at the time. We were living with a friend of ours. We was going through some stuff in the home, so we moved over there. Blah blah blah, and they initially denied him. And so after we did our research and due diligence, it was like, this is against the law, and it was that woman who did all of that, and so they reversed the decision, and so they allowed Xavier to come, and thankfully fuck basketball. He had a good senior year. He graduated from high school, and now he's in school. So it almost got ugly over there. But shout out to Rose, shout out to CA at the time, Rashad, coaches and some of the teachers over there. So shout out to them. What high school you went to, Dad?
I actually went to 3 different high schools. I went to Thornridge my freshman year. My sophomore year, I went to Thornton. Well, my sophomore and part of my junior year, I went to Thornton, and then my junior and senior year, I graduated from Julian.
From where?
Julian. Percy Julian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Oh, shout out to Parham down there. Why'd you go to 3 different high schools? Spill it.
I want to say I was just kind of a bad kid. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I ain't going to give you no details.
Okay.
But
No. We ain't no snitches up here. We ain't no snitches up
It's
here.
going to be a laugh, right?
Yeah. I was a pretty bad kid. Basically. I'm going to say that.
When I wrote this next question, it really kind of like brought back some memories from last year. I remember it missed the feeling of watching the Xavier's play. My first thing to you, Dad, is like, just describe that feeling, what it's like watching Dante play. Don't tell me. I want you to tell him. Describe that feeling.
It's, well, for one, I'm going to say he's my favorite player to watch, and I'm dropping everything to go watch it. You know, like it don't matter what's going on. I'm dropping it to go watch him play, and it's just it's a sight of joy. You know, to see him on the court and really to see him do all the things that I couldn't do in high school because I was a bad kid. So I was ineligible every year. I only played 1 year basketball, which was my sophomore year and a little bit of my junior year. But for the rest of my high school career, I was ineligible because I was a bad kid. And it wasn't even like just grades. It was always just like something bad I was doing.
Yeah,
you know, I was just like, and I wouldn't even want to say I was a bad kid. I was just misguided, maybe. I don't know what really call it, but I did bad things in high school, so I was always ineligible.
And so when you're watching Dante play, I remember sometimes I would get goosebumps. It was like different. I don't really know what to call them because like from the time of warming up to the introductions to the first quarter, second, I would have a different feeling that culminated at the end of the game. Like, can you describe that? Like, what is it?
Sure. I can give
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I can give you a few different descriptions because it all depends on how he comes out to play.
Okay.
So first, during warm-ups, I'm always seeing something that I don't like him doing during warm-up. So I almost want to scream at him every time pregame warm-up. So I usually don't do it. I just let him do him, you know, he older now, so I just kind of want to let him grow into his own, you know, and not like
hover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just
hope that they recognize it on their own.
Yeah, because I tell him everything that he should be doing before games or at home or pregame. Or I shoot him text like, hey, do this, blank, 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 work on this before game. You know what I'm saying?
This is how you should be warming up. All
exactly.
That.
And sometimes he may do a little bit of it.
But he right back to the shenanigans.
Yeah, he's doing the same stuff that he always do. So I have a pregame headache almost every game.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have a pregame headache.
It's so funny.
And matter of fact, and I'm going to even tell you what it is. He sits in the same exact spot and warm up. The same exact spot. I'm like, Dante. And I tell him this almost after every game. I'm like, you just warming up, shooting threes in the exact same spot is not going to do nothing for you. That's just like you just a spot up shooter, and that's not your game. If that was your role on this team, that would be fine. Spot up, just let them throw you the ball and just shoot threes in the same spot. But you need to be working on one dribble pull-ups, catching it, swinging, going through 2 dribble pull-ups, head faking, you know, just doing all the stuff that you would be doing in the game and not just sitting in one spot shooting threes the whole warm-up. So that's
so
my
now you got a
headache. That's my pregame headache right
go
there.
Ahead.
But, you know, from there, he usually starts out every game good. But as he started out the game good, like he usually, on average, he probably starts out the first quarter 8 to 10 points every game.
That's a fact.
Every game. So by halftime, he usually 14, 15 points. And that's like every third quarter, he comes out and he just pass the ball. And I'm like, they losing the lead every time he do this. And I'm telling them, like, you got to keep your foot on the gas every quarter. If you need a break and you're tired, because he usually don't come out the game. So sometimes I see maybe a little fatigued or something, but you need to tell your coach, sub you out 2 minutes or something, get some water, get right back in, foot on the gas. Foot on the gas every time you're in the game. But one thing I can say, he always play defense. No matter how, if he passing that ball on offense, he's always playing defense every single play. And that's something we worked on all off season, you know, coming into, I'm like, we need to be a defensive player coming in this season. I'm like, your man, you need to guard your man coming out of bounds 94 feet every play. Every play. You need to, if y'all not in the press, I want you on your man from the time he
crosses,
coming out from inbound.
Got you.
Up the court. So he always play defense, and kid get 1 or 2 blocks, 2, 3 steals every game. And he usually plus minus up on his opponent. So every game.
When you hear your dad talk about that, like, what goes through your mind?
Well, when he tell me what I should and shouldn't do.
I mean, that and the description of what he's saying right now, like, what goes through your mind? Like, what are you thinking?
I usually try to take it all in and then apply it to the next practice, because we don't usually play a back-to-back.
Right.
So usually just take that in and apply it to the next practice, and then apply it to the game, and then try to just keep stacking it on and on and on.
Does it get frustrating sometime? And maybe frustration is not the right word. Does it get I can't think of another word. The other frustration.
Overwhelming, maybe.
Maybe that might be a better word. Like I'm trying to think of a word because what you just described is the same shit I used to do to Xavier. The same thing. One of the reasons why I stopped coaching Xavier is like I had a difficult time separating dad and coach. It's like, and he had a difficult time separating dad and coach. I guess overwhelming, maybe a little bit frustrating, but like, can you describe the feeling when you hear your dad talk about some of the things that he, try to give you instruction on, and you know that you're not doing it because he's telling you the same things over and over. Like, I just be trying to get into the kids' heads of like how we used to be when we didn't listen to our parents and why. Is it just a natural, just rebellious type of thing?
It probably is because we didn't listen to our parents.
We didn't. Just to be fair, we didn't. If I'm being fair, the things that you and Xavier and all of your peers do to us, we did to our parents, and they did to their parents, and they did. So you're not doing nothing. That what does frustrate me is they think they reinventing the wheel. It's like, nah, nigga, we did that better. We were a lot better at it.
But I have a way better relationship than I had with him with my parents. You know what I'm saying?
I do as well.
And I played basically every sport. I played basketball, baseball, and football. You know what I'm saying? And my dad didn't play none of that. So
mine didn't either. Is your relationship with him based on almost specifically because of the lack of relationship you had with your parents?
I wouldn't say that. It was just a natural thing.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a parent. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like natural.
Okay.
It just came natural.
Okay. I do remember, last year, when Zay played, he was starting off the year so fantastic. I was like, I just thinking about it, and I remember that game. Yeah, listen. I have that written here. I have that written right here. Man. And the crazy thing is, and what I had written here was like, I remember when he sealed that game, and we both paired to each other with our GoPros after he had that windmill.
I'm on, man. Windmill. While he was at half court, he caught that ball. Windmill. And sure enough, he did that one leg windmill. And I'm, oh my God. Yeah. We looked over at each other and we was.
That to me was like the start of like, oh yeah, this
great.
Yeah, this is gonna be the year right here for him, and hopefully for Oak Lawn. But I was really looking forward to it. And the one thing that I really get depressed about is that throughout Xavier's 4-year career, he never played in any other than Thanksgiving. He never played in no Christmas tournaments. Ever.
That's something I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah. So,
and not just a Christmas tournament, just a stage.
Yes. Okay.
Because they played in the Christmas tournament in Tutopolis or something like that.
I'm glad you said that because when I found out that fucking Marist was played, I text times.
In the Classic.
I was fucking livid, bro. I was livid when I found out. I text times like, for real? That was the text, for real? With the flyer. I was pissed. Zay never played in none of those type of tournaments, and I wanted that shit so bad. And then down Thalopolis, he didn't even get a chance to play. And then Marist goes down Centralia, and it's like, who the fuck gonna see him down there?
Yeah. The only thing I will say is it worked out because their senior point guard, Corey Lee, was hurt.
Right.
And Xavier was hurt during the Christmas
break.
He was.
And
so it worked out because they wouldn't have really been able to compete in some of them bigger stages for those tournaments. The year Corey was hurt for like, how many games was he out?
6.
Like 6 games. He broke his thumb?
It was one of them fingers. I don't remember.
Right. And so when we went to Thalopolis last year when Zay was hurt, I ended up sitting next to, I found out, a coach from Illinois who came to scout Xavier. And I heard that they didn't know I was his dad. At least I don't think they did. And they were like, oh, the kid is hurt. They left.
Wow. That's terrible.
Yeah. You guys are coming off a pretty big win versus Eisenhower. Helped capture the second back-to-back conference title for Coach Rhodes. Talk about the game, how important it was for y'all going into...
It's the third.
Oh, it's the third.
It's my second.
Your second, his third.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. But just kind of talk about that game, which was a pretty hype game. Shout out to AJ. He won the Player of the Year last year, which I feel like he stole from Zay, but he played really well. He's a great kid, too, by the way. Yeah. Talk about that game and, just as y'all are preparing to go into the state playoffs, like that momentum.
We needed that game to win conference and to,
a better seed?
Yeah, build the momentum all the way into the state playoffs. But it was a big game. We was prepping for that all week. We had, I think, 2 games before that in that same week, but we kind of brushed them off because they weren't that good.
Right.
So we brushed them off, and then it's still like the whole week we was prepping for Eisenhower. What do they do? What's their best player do? What's his moves? What's he gonna do when he goes left? And then AJ, their best player, and then we was prepping for number 1, Cam Ellis, who
he didn't play. Something happened.
Yeah.
The rumor is that he got into a little bit of trouble at school. And
Oh, really?
That's what I heard. I heard that he got into a little bit of trouble, like a fight or something.
Yeah, I didn't know why he didn't play. Young Balls TV had just texted me before the game and told me no Cam, and he didn't say why.
I heard why, but I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put the young fellow on blast. He got himself into a little situation. I mean, it's a learning experience. It's one of those things. What year is he, Cam?
I think he's a senior.
He
might be my grade. I
think
actually
he's a senior.
don't.
Is he a senior? I mean, so if he was a junior, he might get another shot next year. If he's a senior, still a learning lesson. Like, your team needed you. Unfortunately, you find yourself in a situation. No
That might have
judgment.
been a whole different game.
Yeah, it could have been a different game. And they play hard. I mean, Eisenhower play hard. Their coach. I know their coach. I know their assistant coach. I mean, they do a great job. Shout out to AJ. He's a really good player. I like AJ a lot. I like him a lot. So, I mean, that was a really big game. Do you think that there should be – this is a question for the both of y'all. Do you think there should be like a suburban type of city playoff thing? You know how the city has the city playoffs for the city championship? Do you think it should be a suburban playoff?
Yeah, just so I can play in that bigger stage, make it all like big, like the CPL. I kind of want to have that same experience of actually, winning it. Like going out there and playing against every other team and actually beating them and winning it. But I mean, I'm happy that we won it, but of course I'd want to play in a
bigger stage.
Bigger stage like that, yeah.
I'm gonna let you answer, and then I got a follow-up question to what you said. Do you think that there should be something like that?
I would love it. Yeah, I would love it. It would be great for the South Suburbs too. And I think South Suburban Hoops should probably try to put something together and maybe link up with somebody else and try to do something like that.
Yeah, we gonna try to do something.
That would be great for the South Suburbs.
To see if the schools respond to that. You talk about playing on a bigger stage. Do you think that playing on a bigger stage will enhance or increase your recruiting opportunities?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's where all the main coaches are at when they hear about the best teams in the state are going to play in those type of environments. That's where they're going to go watch the best players. But yeah, it'll help, and I'd like that. But we got AAU coming up, so
who you running with?
I don't know yet. I'm focused on the state playoffs right now, and then I'll weigh my options in after that.
Dad, question: do you think that the high school coach or you, the parent, should be more of the person when it comes to the recruiting?
More, I would say the parent, because I mean it's an everyday job, with your kid during recruiting. The coach, he got 12 or 13 other kids to worry about. So I mean, yeah, you have specific players that probably will play college basketball, but then that's still multiple players, opposed to the parent where they can lock in on just their child and do the due diligence to get them in school.
So 2 things you said. You said the coach knows the players that's going to play on the next level, which also means that they know the players that's going to play on the next level, what level that they're good enough to play on per se, right? But they also have those contacts. With all due respect, because I know a lot of people. I just know that personally.
But I don't know if every coach has contacts like that.
Yeah, but they probably got more than you. Yeah, respectfully,
possibly. So I don't think. Well, I don't know because I don't know who Rhodes actually. We never had this conversation, and we probably do need to bring it to the table.
I 100%.
I have a lot of connections.
With all due respect to Coach Rhodes, because I think Coach Rhodes did what he could on the back end of Xavier's career, right? Had we been there, just a totally different conversation probably for Xavier, and he's probably somewhere else maybe. But he's at a great school. I love the school he's at. I love the coach.
We all know Xavier would be somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, probably so.
He would be somewhere else.
But I do feel like, with all due respect, after the season, it's definitely a conversation that you guys need to sit down and have with Coach Rose.
Sure.
Just to kind of like lay out a plan, something that two chair coaches came up here. Shout out to them from HF. At least have an idea of where you want to go. I don't really care what level. I mean, you could say you want to go to Duke, but all right, whatever. But at least have an idea of what type of colleges you want to go to. Do your own scouting of those schools for the type of game that you have. Like, at least have something to bring to the table. So then when Rose kind of, y'all have that conversation, then y'all can kind of bounce some stuff off each other. Don't go in there blind like, hey, what schools you got that you can call for Dante? Like, those schools that he can call might not be the level that you guys want. Or you might think that you're bigger than. I know he has a connection with one of his best players. Sammy goes to Creighton. And then everybody else is at some smaller schools. So you don't know what you got. So at least have something in mind. But it's a conversation you absolutely should be having.
To piggyback off that, we're not locked in on just a D1 school. We're not locked in on a like high major, mid major, low major. We're not locked in on the D2. We locked in on the best available college for him where he can play for free.
In the discussion.
That's it.
In the discussion. And it got to that for us. Like, it never was a D1 thing for me, for
We're
Xavier.
not turning nothing down.
We ain't turned nothing down either. The only thing I won't say we turned down, but the only thing I was mindful of is D3s don't give athletic scholarships. They give academic, but they don't give athletic scholarships. And from an academic standpoint, they would have got some money, but we still would have had to pay.
Okay.
So yeah, free is my second four letter.
Free and play.
Free and play. No matter what team that you guys would eventually play on, what current player would you like to play with? He can come to Oklahoma, or you can go to his team.
I've been doing some recruiting on the side on one guy from Thornwood, goes by the name of Arden Eves, trying to get him to come on over. That's been my guy for a little minute. So we've been doing some talking on the side, but we're gonna keep that on the low until we lock something in. But
Okay.
That's one guy I have in mind for sure right now.
Okay. Anybody else?
There's a few other people, but I haven't really been in contact.
Gotcha. Understood. Anybody from the previous 2 to 3 years that you would have liked to have played with?
I wish I would have been able to have Xavier. Me, Corey, and Xavier all in one lineup. I feel like for another year would have been.
Oh yeah.
It would have been scary.
It would have been. It would have been scary. And I will say this, and I know you and I don't want to speak for you, but I know sometimes it was a little frustrating last year watching Dante, opportunities always not being there. Did you feel frustration with that?
Oh, man. It was.
And this is respectfully speaking.
Crazy frustration.
Okay.
And it was more so because I understand you work him in the lineup, but it was games like he have a great game beforehand. Like maybe
Lamont. Then we played TF South after. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Lamont. So he had double figures.
And then play a lot in the second half.
I don't think he played any in the next game. Like touched the floor at all. And then the game, I believe it was Argo. He had 17 points in the quarter coming off the bench.
Yes, I remember that because I scored that game.
He scored 17 in the quarter. The second quarter coming off the bench. And then this was one of them Dante moments. He come back in second half, and he don't shoot the ball for the rest of the game. So I'm pissed at him that game, and then I'm upset at the coaching staff the next game because he don't play at all the next game.
How did you? We know how you dealt with it with Dante, and Dante. How did you deal with it? But how did you deal with it, Dad? In terms of were there times where you reached out to the coach, or you just kind of let it play out a little bit?
Well, I didn't really have a great relationship with Rhodes at that point in time. It was just on the, Dante being my son basis.
Got you.
Playing for his team. I had a better relationship with CA and Rashad.
Okay.
So I definitely text them afterwards.
Okay.
I text them afterwards, see what they thought about it, and they, they just, hey, we're going to try to get him in there. We can get him in there, and, he's definitely playing well, but, it's other things that go into why he didn't play, and, we're not the head coaches, so. Well,
that aside, when they said there were other things that went into it, were there basketball-related things? Because to me, that should be no, let me be careful with that. did they mention any other things that went into the decision of not him
I
playing?
mean, like off the court?
Yeah.
No, it was nothing off the court. It was, I guess it was like the matchups maybe, or.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it was the matchups. And he was a lot smaller last year, so he got a growth spurt. So, and he's a lot stronger this year. He's still a small frame, but he's a lot stronger than what he was last year. So he can defend multiple positions now, you know. And he was maybe like 5'11" last year and like super frail frame. So it was, you know, some spots where he probably couldn't defend that, even though he's always had great basketball IQ.
Instincts, yeah, absolutely.
So he would be able to play with anybody. So, I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, they kind of misused him last year.
Okay.
You know, but he still played. But it was some situations where I felt like he should have played. But what parent don't?
Right.
So,
if we being fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. There were games, you know, obviously, particularly even before Zay got hurt, but after Zay got hurt, I felt like, you know, Dante could have played a little bit more. And then if I'm being honest to both Dante and Coach Rose, like I was throughout the rest of the year, although I still came to support and score the games and do it, like it was depressing for me. I can only imagine what it was like for Xavier being there, but not seeing him on the court really did something to me. Like
that was depressing for the whole Oak Line community.
Yeah,
seriously, because it was depressing for me. Even though Dante got more time after that because of Xavier being out, but we wanted to see him on that floor.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was really, really tough. And like you said, I wish that, you know, they could have played more together, because as Dante was getting that more experience, which is what he needed, just being on the court more, I just felt like that they could have did something special over there if he hadn't got hurt. But I mean, You're doing great. You're doing great now. Like, describe what it feels like to be like, you know, the man over there. I mean, respect to Corey, what he's doing. He's a really good player. You know, he just broke the steals record, assist record, which is great. And I wanted Zay to break in that 1 year. I wanted him to break that points record.
In the season.
In the season.
Oh, what is it?
I forget what it is, but I was targeting that joint. But just kind of talk about, you know, just Oklahoma, the school, the staff, the community. Like, what is it like for you?
They all do a great job helping me, you know, play my game. They know what my game is. They know what my strengths are. So they kind of, you know, some things I may go out there and do wrong, they pull me to the side. And next time, don't, you know what I mean? And then my teammates, they do a great job finding me in my spots, and they know what I'm the best at, and especially Corey, because he had to take on a larger scoring role when Xavier went out last year, and then kind of stepping down because he knows that's what I do.
Right.
Stepping down and just kind of like giving that to me, that was big.
Was that a conversation y'all had, or just moments of like noticing that he's doing that, or both?
Nah, we've actually never talked about like, I'm a step back. Corey's always, his best strength is defense and playmaking. Although he can score, his two strengths are playmaking and guarding the best on ball, their best guard. So we never really sat down and talked about it, but I feel like it's just our chemistry from playing in the summer together and guarding each other. So we knew what each other's strengths and weaknesses were. So I don't think we had to talk about it. It just came naturally. How
great is it to play with a guard like Corey, where you see a lot of guards in different leagues at different schools, and their primary, as a point guard, their primary thought is always to score. Corey's primary thought process always seems to be playmaking and finding the people who can score. How good is that playing with a guard like that?
It makes my job much easier. I mean, I don't have to have a ball. Most of the time, he's mostly bringing it up, and I feel like I'm better off the ball anyways. So it just makes my job much easier when he's out there making passes and all of that. Okay. Setting me up in my spots. It just makes my job much easier.
The one thing I will say about Rhodes is that he does a great job coaching regardless of the talent. I mean, think about all the years before Xavier, Dante, and even Corey got moved up, that he had players over there that you didn't really know, but he over there winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was always, and particularly in that conference, like, you know, a Hillcrest and the Oak Lawn, they was always fighting for that top spot in that conference or whatever. But other than Sammy, and to be completely honest, I didn't even know who the hell he was at the time. I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
I never heard of him. Right?
Never heard of him.
The team that he had before he left, before Zay came over there, them 4 guys that was over there with Davion and the other 3 players, their names escape me, so please forgive me. But Coach Rose always seems to make do. And
I think you're talking about the Johnny kid?
Johnny Gowen or something
John
like that.
McGowan.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, he is nice.
I know about him. And the other kid, I think he played with Sammy. Trey
Ward.
Trey Ward.
He was already gone.
He was already gone.
Oh, was he?
He was already
Sammy?
gone.
Him
and Sammy played together.
He graduated the year with Sammy.
Oh, right. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but think about a lot of them, nobody heard of them. Nobody knew who they were, at least outside of the South Suburban conferences, right? And so, Coach Rose always does a great job of coaching his guys up and, making them believe that they can win and then going out there and winning. So, I mean, shout out to him for that. What has been your best moment so far in high school, on and off the court?
Probably winning conference. Those both years. Especially this year's, it was more, I'd say therapeutic because I'm more a part of it, I'd say.
Okay.
Not that I was
know
excluded last year,
I know what you mean.
but I'm like I have a bigger role. So
I mean, your role was huge, and y'all winning it the other night. It was huge. You already mentioned that you are playing AAU, and you said you don't really know yet. You're locking in, so that was one of my questions. What's your thoughts on the AAU scene, the circuit? They play a lot of basketball on AAU. When I look back on it now, all the basketball that Xavier played, it was a lot. What's your thoughts on the AAU and the circuit as a whole?
You
think it's necessary?
I'm gonna miss AAU.
You don't?
I'm going to.
Oh, you're going to?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of basketball. Especially, I like to travel, so traveling across different states, playing against different levels of competition, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna miss it, but the circuit's big. They play a lot. Yeah, we've been talking. We've been talking a lot about just finding the best team where I can play my game and have the most exposure to get seen by coaches. That's what we're mainly looking for this summer.
Are y'all looking to play with a shoe team or grassroots team, or is it kind of in the mindset of the decision that went into the Oaklawn, the best opportunity to be seen and play, or all of that?
It really doesn't matter if it's a shoe team or not, to be honest with you, because he played for the Work Foundation last year. Shout out to Curry Ellis.
Yep.
He played for them last year and played up actually 17U, and he got in front of a nice amount of scouts last year, but they kind of had more of a balanced team. He was one of the better players on the team, but it was more of a balanced team, and it wasn't really a lot of coaches where they were, but it was a great experience for him, to me, playing up a year.
Okay.
So.
One thing I will throw my hat out there for you guys is Hoops for Health. That's what they played with Jeremiah last year. He puts those boys in front of a lot of people.
Now, where are they located?
I think his organization is located out of Winteca. However, they are going to be practicing and have tryouts at a little closer. I think one is going to be in Juliet, and I forgot what the other one was going to be. But I mean, I can put you in contact with him after. Something to consider. But I know Brandon does a great job of putting them in front of people. They played in front of obviously Jeremiah was on the team, but they did play in front of what's the head coach for Michigan State again? Izzo. They played in front of Izzo, and they played in front of a lot of different coaches.
Factors too, the location of where they be going to practice.
Because it'd be far.
Yeah,
it'd be far.
And trying to travel an hour, because that was the main thing. Because I loved M14 when the end of the year he played with M14, also with Coach Tyler. And I loved playing with M14 also, but it was just the commute to go to practice, and they're all the way on the other side of Aurora. Mm-hmm. So that was a real nice.
I don't think, and when they played with the Wolves, we had to go all the way up to Yorkville, and it was a hike, man. In them backwoods of Illinois and the farms.
They 3 times a week.
Three times a week.
That 3 times a week is.
And so I don't think AAU
it's 2
coaches,
hours of travel.
Yeah, they don't understand that commitment that's taken. And then sometimes they don't even take into consideration that, oh yeah, I still got to effing work and get off of work and then get him there. And I don't.
You have other kids.
If you got other kids, and I'm not a person. I don't put that on to my wife unless I really, 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 really have to. That's my responsibility. So it was interesting. How's your recruiting going? What are some of your likes and dislikes of recruiting?
I don't really have any dislikes yet because I don't have a lot coming in yet. So it's still a process getting more coaches looking, but it's fun for the most part. Getting like just when you first started getting recruited and you see that text coming in from a coach, that's like one of the more therapeutic things that you can feel. 'Cause you know you're doing something right.
I remember when Dave got his first one, it was like, it was like that excitement of like a coach. Oh wow! Like, is it like that for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your first one?
Holmes at Miami, Ohio.
Miami, Ohio?
Yeah,
Coach Holmes.
Okay. Is there any school right now that's a front runner? Has anybody offered you?
No.
And you don't have to. You say no.
No.
Okay. Is there any school that could be a front runner that you think may offer you that it's like, okay, if they do offer, I might seriously consider.
I haven't really been in contact with the Miami, Ohio, or Eastern Illinois just texted me a couple days ago. But.
Oh yeah, my guy Brandon. Marlon is up there. He's one of the coaches up there. All right, shout out to them. What would be a determining factor to you deciding the school?
I want to go play, but I wouldn't say it's mandatory. It's not mandatory for me to go out there and play. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I want to play because you're a basketball player. You want to go play.
Right.
But it's not mandatory for me to go out there and start. But although I'd love to go somewhere and start, but it's not really mandatory.
So immediate playing time will be a factor, or
Yeah.
playing time in general will be a factor.
Yeah.
I'm hearing and seeing that a lot of players at these schools have been told one thing. We had a great conversation off the air, and I won't go into exactly everything. But after we had JT up here last week, we had a great conversation with the dad, and he was JT Pettigrew from Bolingbrook.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about his oldest boy that had, he was having some just trying to navigate that recruiting, being told one thing. He was a high recruit, and being told one thing and then getting there and things ain't going well, or coaches not keeping their word on certain things. That's why it's going to be really important to like you said earlier, like although level isn't that's not a forefronted mindset, but I would definitely seriously have you guys be very mindful of things that's said to you from the coaches, and hold them. The only thing we got in this world is our word.
For sure.
And now that we're in a different era, particularly with the NIL, these coaches they want certain types of commitments from these kids, but it's like you're gonna go take a job if somebody pay you more.
Yeah. For sure.
And so that type of shit is really kind of burning me up. Scout yourself. What type of player are you? What type of player will a college coach be getting?
I can do a bit of everything. I can shoot, pass, rebound. I think that's my biggest improvement this year is rebounding. I've had, I think, 3 10 rebound games this season. So I can do a bit of everything. I like to play defense, like coachable, great teammate, and I'm starting to take on this year a bigger leadership role.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. What are you looking forward most to in going to college?
Basketball.
Okay.
That's the main thing. Going out there to just play basketball.
Okay. Who said that? Who do we have on here? They said keep the main thing the main thing. Was that Jeremiah Williams?
Yeah, Jeremiah Williams.
Yep.
Williams, yeah.
J. Will. A shout out to J. Will. He over at Rutgers now giving them hell. But yeah, when you get to school, just keep the main thing the main thing. College is fun though, bro. You went to college, Pop?
A little bit.
Okay.
I wasn't focused on college. I had to come back and make some money, man.
I feel you.
I was wasting my time in college.
I feel you. Do you think college coaches pay close attention to rankings?
To an extent. They're going to look to see who are the best players and see where they're at so they can see them. But I don't feel like they're like, oh, he's ranked this low, so we're not going to go watch him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they look at it, but I don't think they, like, this guy is ranked above him. What they see is what they see. So if they see you're ranked higher than them, but they go watch this player that's ranked below you and you're better than them, they're going to say you're better than them.
I have a love-hate relationship with the whole ranking system.
Me too.
I think it's a unfortunate necessary evil. My issue is people who never played the game doing the rankings, or never played the game at a high level doing the rankings. So I understand the necessity of it, like you said, to give coaches a baseline of like who they should go see, but I don't think they should put all their eggs in the basket of the top 25, the top 50, the top 100. Like, go see some of them bottom guys. Like, that's how Ja got discovered. But I have a huge issue, and I mean a huge issue with people. I don't care the platform. I don't care if it's Prep Hoops. I don't care if it's ESPN. You know, some of those national ranking guys, they've never played the game at a high level. I find that they have such an impact on our children's opportunities, and I hate it. Like, I hate it.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like they play a huge role in the college coaches checking out the players.
So you do think that the coaches pay close attention to it?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
'Cause
that's all they talk about. Oh, this guy's a ESPN top 100 guy, or top 15, or all of that. But
I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the main reasons why I even started this platform. You know, not being from here, Xavier wasn't ranked. I felt like, you know, at the times of whether they were games that were, you know, solidified or just kind of like hooping, I felt like he was either giving these kids business or he was holding his own against them in a lot of cases. And I'm like, all y'all keep talking about is the same motherfuckers over and over again.
There's top ranked kids in the state right now that's
trash. Man. And I don't do a lot of talking about kids, but. So let me walk that back, the trash comment. Let me walk that back.
I'm not going to say trash, but I'll
walk back
they're
that
just
overrated.
Yeah, they're overrated.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of them are being ranked only because of the name or they got seen. Like, how can you rank a kid over him? You've seen him play. You've never even seen this other kid play, but you got him ranked over him, or vice versa. You know, some of these ranking guys...
Probably because who he play AAU with, or maybe his AAU coach been promoting him a certain way, or he's 6'10", or, you know, it's just a few different things that could be the determining factor, but it all matters what happens between them lines.
That's all that really matters. You recently came down, back in October, down to our showcase. You had a great showing, particularly defensively. Every coach that was in the building asked me about you. From the defensive standpoint, I mean, you were scoring too. Don't get it fucked up. But they saw you, and I don't know if some of it was, you know, just the lankiness, his frame. Like, well, who's this guy? Like, in particular, that one block he had. But almost every coach I can remember that was there asked me about Dante. Yeah. Talk about, you know, the showcase. Do you think it, you know, kind of helped with your recruiting or just, you know, getting your name out there a little bit?
Yeah, that was big. I ain't gonna lie. That played a huge role. And then when I went out there, I just wanted to really prove myself. Playing against all the top players in the state, per se. Mm-hmm. And then showing, like, I can really hang with these guys. That was I'm either better than them or I can hold my own against them. That was my main objective. Go out there and just hold my own and compete.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think you did a great job out there. And, you know, shout out to your dad for, you know, letting you come, your mom and your dad for letting you come. Who has been your toughest player to guard this season? Give him, you know, who gave you buckets? Give him Nick Flowers.
I ain't gonna lie, Brent Taylor.
From Lincoln Way.
Yeah. He wasn't doing nothing special, though. He wasn't hitting me with nothing crazy, though. He was just making everything. And he jumps really high. So when he go up to shoot, it's like he's up here and I'm here. So
got you.
It's like he don't even see me. He was making everything.
Shout out to Brent. Who's barbecue chicken? Who you get buckets to? Name them.
You try to put me on the spot.
Name them. Every player up here gave us a name. And what's crazy is, who was that? We had Q up here when he named Deontay.
Yeah. Easy.
He said he was giving. So he said when he named Deontay. Shout out to both them guys because it was a good little banter. And I loved it.
Yeah, because Buddy hit up on Twitter, right?
Yeah, he hit him on Twitter. So Quentin, that's out in Cal Poly, he named Deontay, right? But he said the reason why he named Deontay is like because he was giving him buckets, but Deontay was still talking shit. It's like, bro, I'm killing you. So who you get buckets to?
I'm gonna name drop the same guy. He gave me bucket. He gave me 30. I gave him 30.
Who's that? Deontay?
Brent.
Oh, Brent.
It's the
Okay.
same game.
Okay.
Okay.
He gave me 29. I had 28. So,
Okay.
Shout out to Brent, though.
Shout out to Brent for sure. Shout out to Brent for sure. Great kid. I definitely want to get him in and put him on the podcast. Name your all-time NBA team. 5 starters, 1 6-man.
All right, cool.
Positionless basketball, so you don't have to do point guard this. If you want to do it that way, you can, but this is your team, all time.
Curry,
Okay.
Kobe,
Okay.
Bron.
Okay. Pop, leave him be. You don't.
You can't leave LeBron out.
This is your team, bro.
Can't leave out LeBron.
This is your team. Go ahead.
He know everything.
This is your team. Go ahead.
All right, Bron,
Okay.
Shaq,
Okay.
and who's my center be?
Pop is blue.
Big time.
All right.
Reaction to a game.
Go ahead. Who's your fifth?
Give me a king.
And who's your 6-man?
My 6-man gonna be Jordan.
Okay.
Okay.
Pop, who's your
Wrong. You ain't wrong.
who's your go ahead, Pop. This your list. Then leave that boy alone. Who's your 5 and who's your 6-man, Pop? Come on.
Positionless basketball. I'm gonna go Bron,
Okay.
Jordan,
Okay.
Okay.
KD,
Okay.
Akeem, and Shaq.
Who's your 6-man?
6-man. My 6-man would probably be Kobe.
Got
Okay.
no spacing.
Okay. Mine's is AI
said
Kobe.
spacing?
Bro, how you gonna put, nah, bro, your team weak, I ain't gonna lie.
My team will kill your team.
No,
I mean,
you
we
wouldn't.
basically got the same team
Y'all
except
trying to do.
you tripping with your starting shooting guard
How?
because you got Kobe Bryant in there. That's how.
It's the same person as Jordan.
Mine's is AI Kobe, Mike, LeBron, Hakeem, and my 6-man is Jamal Crawford.
Oh wow, you ain't got enough balls. Pause.
That was deep.
Kobe and Jordan are the same person, bro.
Okay.
They do the same
All right.
thing.
I can't gonna make the team though. Everybody pick on.
Yeah. Hakeem, he'll get him right.
But we know why you got Iverson.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
It's a Philly thing.
Yeah, it's a Philly thing. I mean, let's not act like AI wasn't new.
He is the man though.
Let's not act like AI.
he was.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
you know what I'm saying?
honestly thinking about him being my 6-man.
Okay.
Over Kobe.
All right.
But
AI
I'ma
was
just
definitely.
take Kobe because he's 6'6".
What's your goals for the remainder of the season?
We want to make a sectionals run. I don't think we've won a sectionals in I don't know how long. So for us to make a sectionals run this year, that would be big, especially for Coach Rhodes.
Okay. Yeah, me being Muslim in our religion
That's
in
the only
Islam. Say that again.
I was asking, was that on? You asked for his goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, goals are gold.
Goals. That's your only one?
I mean, season
Oh.
almost over with. So
I mean, if that's fine. That's cool.
I was just asking because he told me his goals was something else.
he said, "What's the goals for the remainder of the season?"
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, let me,
I said the remainder of the season.
my bad.
All right. Well, what's your
It's his
goals for
thing.
the season period? What were your goals? Have you accomplished them all?
I wanted to win conference,
Done
win
that.
conference player of the year,
That's on the hook.
make all state team,
I can't see that not happening.
and then I wanted to make a sectionals run. That was also a part of it.
Okay, so all right, 3 of those are still on the table. I can't see you not winning player of the year though.
Me either.
You never know, man. But I
It
think
would
I
be
got
some
it.
bullshit if
But
not, bro.
he's got jagged before in the past, so.
I think I got it locked.
I mean, God willing, you do. I mean, I
But
Let
to
me
be
tell-
honest with you, I mean, the only other player that could win it is AJ again, and he beat him for the conference title. So why wouldn't he win?
why wouldn't he win it? And shout out, and again, AJ, great player. I really like AJ. And here's the crazy
Super
thing:
solid.
he's super solid, and he's going to school for football and basketball. That's crazy.
tough.
That's tough.
What school is he going to?
Triton, I think.
Triton College?
I think.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw that, and I might have got the school wrong. So if I did, my bad. I'll look. If I didn't, I'm sticking with that.
Yeah.
But I
He's
mean,
nicely built too.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Pause.
And I feel like, to me, which was very satisfying and gratifying for me, that even though they only played 8 games, he still got conference honorable mention and still got all state honorable mention, which goes to show you like he was going to tear this shit up. So I definitely think you should win conference of the. You won the conference, but the conference player of the year. And I can't see you not being named to the All State team, but we'll see how it shakes out. It's some good players, but you definitely got a shot there. As I was saying, in Islam, we believe that our children pick us as parents. Hearing that, what does it mean to you knowing that you picked your mother and father to raise you and guide you? Talk about them and talk about how important your family is to you.
I mean, they mean the world to me, especially coming. They support me through everything, like game. They not gonna miss one. Him or my mom. They at every single game. Mm-hmm. If we play out of state, they gonna try to make it. Like that's the biggest thing for me is just the support factor that they have. Like no matter, they always tell me no matter what I want to do with life, they always gonna be there to support me. So I love them unconditionally for that.
What does it mean to you, like sometimes when you look up in the stands, good game, bad game, anything in between, and you see your dad, you see your mom, and y'all travel heavy, particularly with your they be deep as shit. They be deep as shit. Like
coming 25 deep.
Yeah, at least I've seen y'all deep, but and it seems to be growing. I was at a game where it looked like it was more. Y'all had a whole little section, but you look up in the stands and you lock in on your mom and dad. Like describe that.
It's just knowing the fact that they're there. Like, even if they may walk in late, I'm warming up. I'm looking to see if my parents are there. They're always there. Mm-hmm. So just seeing them there is like bad game, going up there, still my mom and dad. Good game, still mom and dad. Like go home, they're still no matter what, they're still always gonna be mom and dad.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Pops? Like talk about. Your son picked you to be his father. Like that's in our religion and most religions, I would imagine. But it's a significant thing in Islam, knowing that your child picked you. Like your son picked you to be his dad. Like what that mean to you?
It mean the world to me. I tell him all the time. He changed my life because I was doing a bunch of other things, and being a parent, being his parent, changed me, and it just got me more locked in on being a parent, you know what I'm saying, and focusing on the future, my future, his future, my daughter's future, my wife's future, like just being more family oriented, you know what I'm saying, and I can't like ever repay him for being just the person that changed my life because he changed my life.
When you hear that, like, what'd that do?
Put a smile.
Yeah, I know. I love asking fathers that come up here to kind of, just express that to their children because a lot of times I feel like our children, our sons, they have the same mentality that society has. It's like we're doing what we're supposed to do, right? But I also I don't think that they realize sometimes how much we want to do it. It's not we ain't doing this because we got to. We doing this shit because we want to.
For sure.
I mean, think about all the peers that you may have who fathers aren't there. They're not there because they don't want to be there, right? Or they or a lot of different things. We like parenthood, or it's just a great thing, and it's really hard to describe, but we just love it. We love it so much. Like we know the crazy thing is we know we get on your nerves, and we don't even care. We don't fucking care. Like what y'all gonna do? Nothing.
Why would we care?
Yeah, right. Exactly. But no, we definitely love that. As you're becoming a man, what current life lessons has your dad taught you that you'll always carry with you?
I don't really know how to put them into words to describe them, but I don't really know how to answer that question.
Okay, that's fair. That's cool. Lastly, what you think about the Xposure Runs platform and what it means to the high school athlete? Just giving you guys the opportunity to be heard, be seen. The showcases, the Unsigned senior event. Like what? What's your thoughts on the platform?
Yeah, it's big for all grades all around. Y'all do everything to build a platform for kids that are known and aren't known, to just make a kid go from y'all have made some kids go from nothing to really into something. Like even Xavier, he had nothing at Marist, and then when he went to Oakland, that's even on Xposure runs, like just promoting kids to try to go to school or whatever the case may be, whatever they want to do with their future, just try to push them forward.
Yeah, like I said, this platform definitely was the catalyst for Xavier. Like I make no apologies for like I started this only for him. Like I
mean, you're a dad first.
I'm a dad first. And then at the time of grooming it, it was like, oh shit, it's thousands of Xaviers out this motherfucker. And it just kind of like blossomed into what it has blossomed, and this was the next natural order of things. So like I appreciate that. Dad, what about you? What's your thoughts on the platform?
Oh, I love it. I think it's great for the state of Illinois. Has been doing a great job of highlighting kids that's particularly not ranked, and even the ones that are ranked too, but it's just putting a highlight on all different types of kids that, you know, from the south suburbs, even you going even into the city and getting kids from Peoria and, you know, just the state of Illinois, you putting on for the state, man. Not even the city and the area, but you putting on for the state, and I'm happy with what you're doing.
Appreciate
with
that.
The program.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Lastly, I'd like for you to give yourself a future message. This is the time where I'm gonna tell you to look into the camera. So look into that camera, and I want you to give yourself a future message. Yeah, I mean, you've seen our reels, you've seen stuff up and down your timeline. You know, in the next few days, the next few weeks, next few months, possibly the next few years, you'll see this. What future message you want to give yourself?
Just be yourself. Stay true to your dreams and chase them. Whatever goals you have set, don't try to always remain confident and just chase your dreams primarily. Chase your dreams. Whatever you have in mind that you want to go do, you can do it.
Dad, same thing. Look in that camera, give your son a future message, bro.
Be yourself. Don't let no one deter you from being yourself. And that's really it. Just be yourself.
Definitely thank you guys for coming up. More importantly, Pop, I want to, I don't have to, and I know you will probably like, no, you ain't got to do that. Like, but I do want to thank you. Like, there were a lot of times last year where you really kind of kept me sane, starting with a lot of the help that you and your wife helped me navigate when Xavier initially was denied entry to Oakland. I don't know if you remember that phone call.
Of course.
I don't think Xavier or Dante probably realize. I don't want to say how much you and I talk, but like we talk frequently enough about the both of them, and just you know, overall as fathers, and just kind of bouncing shit off each other. And you know, you'll hit me up about like what you think of this, and I'll hit you up about some shit about what you think of this. But I definitely want to thank you. Like most people who you know, since I've been here, like I've been paying close attention, even so much as far as like going back and kind of regurgitating things. But I paid close attention to people who have really poured into my child, and then, you know, kind of filtered a relationship with myself, like, you know, yourself, you know, Eric Tillery, just to name a few. You know, Bo, you got Mark, you know, Coach Houston. I mean, I can name maybe about 10 people who, if I know if something happened to me, I'm not talking about my Philly niggas. Like, my Philly niggas is gonna do what they supposed to do. Like, it's about 5 or 6 of them that my guy Mike, my guy Tyree, you know, my guy Brent, of course, my brothers, of course. My Philly guys, they got a list of what this shit y'all supposed. I remember I went down. I had gotten locked up for a situation, and it happened over Valentine's Day, and one of my niggas made sure Celeste had flowers for Valentine's Day. So like my folks know what to do, but it's people that I've met here that I can appreciate, that I know that if something happened to me, they'll be like jockeying for no, I'm gonna do that shit. No, I got that. You do this. Like, so I do consider you one of them people. So I just wanted to let you know that, and I appreciate that.
It, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, excuse me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. With that being said, we're gonna give our shout outs. Of course, I want to give a shout out to my children, Xavier and Zayden, Zay and Ziggy. Give a shout out to my guy Bo over at AGM Plus. My guy Tyree Booker from Numerex. Of course, Anthony and Grant Leach from SVI Sportswear, who is our sponsors. You know, y'all see the gear, y'all see the hoodies, y'all see the backdrop.
Can I get my hoodie?
I'm about to say.
You supposed to get me a hoodie a year ago.
I'm gonna hook the gang up, man.
That's tough. I just got put on the spot. And you want to know what's fucked up?
What's up?
I meant to grab 2 of them bitches out the box.
All the time.
I do.
You actually do that a lot.
I do that a lot.
I gotta
I do.
remind your ass.
Yeah, you do.
I see.
You do. But I got y'all. What size you wear?
Medium.
What size you wear?
Large.
I'll bring it to the barbershop.
All right, bet.
All right.
All right, there we go. Definitely shout out to Derek Ellison. And Derek is, what we call him, the boogeyman?
No, he the boogie. No, that's not the boogeyman.
Oh, that's Barry. He's the bone collector.
boogeyman. He the bone collector.
All right, but Derek does a lot of shit.
Niggas, though.
Yeah, they 2 scary niggas. Yeah, but they 2 scary niggas that you actually want.
Wants to be in your corner,
Yeah, you
for
want
sure.
them for sure. And then of course, I want to give a shout out to my guy Ryan Forehand. He's my partner with the Shoutouts Showcase in the upcoming March 30th Unsigned Senior Showcase at 167. And this event is going to be for 25 unsigned high school athletes. I don't care what level you're on. I don't care where you're ranked. We had about 40 to 50 college coaches last year. My goal is to have 100. I've already started emailing coaches. I've gotten already
For what event?
the Unsigned Senior event.
Senior.
In March?
March 30th.
Okay.
And I have 3 or 4 college coaches already confirmed for this event.
Did you invite Corey Lee?
I haven't invited no players yet, but
Okay.
but just to kind of show you, since you want to put me on a motherfucking
Hey,
spot, right?
Corey, my guy, man. I got a campaign for him.
My motherfuckers want to put me on it. You invite Corey Lee? Like Corey Lee is on my list, though. You see that list there, and Corey's name is right there.
Okay.
Okay, his name is right there.
All right.
All right, so Corey Lee is on the list. And as a matter of fact, since you want to put me on the fucking spot, Corey Lee, this is your official invite to the Unsigned Senior Showcase. Since you want to put me on the motherfucking spot.
That's how we rock.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Corey Lee? Yes. Now, will Corey Lee come? He better.
Yes.
I'm sure you will.
Nah, Corey gonna get an invite for sure. So now I gotta pick 24 players. There's already just invited 1. Right. And on that note, we're going. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
What's up?
Shout out all my coaches and long live Terrell, man.
Shout out to Terrell. For sure.
So.
Shout out.
All right,
Coach
y'all.
T.